Hi, boys and girls. Happy Monday. Today is September 14th, and this is your reading lesson for the day. So today we're going to review Read to Self again and Read to Someone, and we're going to briefly talk about word work. I'll have the link up so that you can practice that sort again. We're going to practice Read to Self. And then our book for the week is My Lucky Day. And we'll read My Lucky Day. And then we'll talk about beginning, middle, and end. And you'll have something to draw in your journal when we're done. So, and I have one of my reader books. It can be any of your reader books. It doesn't matter which one that you can use to practice Read to Self. So, before we get started on Read to Self, let's quickly review it, okay? So, Read to Self. When you read to self, you're getting started right away. As soon as I say it's time to get started, you get started. You read the whole time. You don't ever take your eyes off the book, and you stay in one spot. And Read to Self is quiet. We're reading with our eyes, remember? So let's practice Read to Self. And I'm going to read too. I'm going to have my book, and I'm going to read. And I'll point the camera down so you guys can see that I am reading. Okay, so I'm going to read to self, and we're going to start now. Remember, hold on, we're not going to start yet. Remember, when you read, you don't have to be able to read the words. You can read a book by reading pictures. So if you can't read the words, it's okay. You can still look at the pictures. So we're going to start practicing Read to Self now, and we're going to practice for 2 minutes. If you need to pause this so that you can get your book and get ready, go ahead. And then unpause this, and we're going to start right now. Notice I'm not talking to anyone. I'm sitting still. I am talking to you, but I'm teaching you and letting you know that this is what we're doing during Read to Self. I'm using my fingers to follow along and look at the words. Even if I can't read the words, I can still look at the words. Good job, boys and girls. That was 2 minutes. You just practice read to self for 2 minutes. And I want you to notice the whole time I was reading, you couldn't see, but I was reading with my eyes, but you definitely did not hear me. I was not reading words in my mouth. I did stop and say a few things to help teach you guys and remind you what you can do during read to self, but that's read to self. So that's good practicing. Good job. All right. Now, let's go over read to someone. When we are doing read to someone, and you can practice how to sit, and you could practice with reading to someone at home if you sit with a brother or sister or cousin or friend or adult or mom or dad or whomever you have. You can practice sitting with them. You can also practice putting a book in between you and sharing it and taking turns reading the words or the pictures. Remember, read to someone is sit, eek to eek. Sit, eek, which is elbow to elbow, knee to knee. Remember, you get started right away. Just like with read to self, you get started right away. This time you use a soft voice because you're reading to each other. So you can talk, but you're only reading the book. And use a soft voice. You either whisper like this, or you use a very soft voice to read to each other. You don't use voices like this. This is not a soft voice. You use voices like this, or you whisper when you read to someone. Okay? You read the whole time. You're not talking about anything else. You're not talking about your toys or your brother or your sister or your pets or where you went or superheroes or anything you watched on TV. You're only reading the book to each other. You can talk about what's happening in the book, but that's all you're doing is the book, and you stay in one spot. You don't move around. You're not wiggling. You're not rocking back and forth. You're not playing with each other. You're not trying to pretend to hit each other. You're sitting still, keeping your hands to yourself, turning the pages, reading the book. And remember, when you sit, eek, it's elbow to elbow, knee to knee, just like the friends in the picture. That way you can share the book and put it in your lap. Now I'll have the link up for the word work practice game. Word work will not be on the computer in the classroom, but to practice sorting, you can use the game. When we are doing word work in the classroom, you'll have things that you've cut out that you'll be sorting on paper. But this is one way that we can start practicing word work. And with word work, you choose your activity or you do what's there for you to do. You get started right away, no playing around, and you're working the whole time, and you're working quietly. If you do need to talk or ask questions to a partner, that's fine, but again, it's in a quiet voice. You're doing it quietly. So that is a review of read to self, read to someone, and word work, and I'll have the link up for the game for you to practice sorting uppercase and lowercase letters. When we are in the classroom and we have rotations, we'll have read to self, read to someone, word work, work on writing, which we'll talk about later this week, and we'll have a listening station where you are listening to a book, probably from Get Epic or Storyline Online or something like that. And then if you're not in any of those stations, you'll be working with me or a teacher helper or para once we have one for our class. We don't have one right now. So that's for rotations during our balanced literacy reading time in the classroom. So we're just teaching you these stations now so that when you come to the classroom, you're not like, what? I don't know what to do. So we're teaching you, getting you ready. So for my lucky day, I'm going to read you my lucky day, and I want you to be thinking about the beginning of the book. One of the first things that happens, one of the first things that I read. The middle of the book, that happens after the beginning. It happens, and it could be more than one thing. And the end of the book, and that's normally the last thing that happens. So My Lucky Day is written by Kiko Kaza. She is the author and the illustrator. She did all the work. She wrote all the words, and she drew all the pictures. One day, a hungry fox was preparing to hunt for his dinner. As he polished his claws, he was startled by a knock at the door. "Hey, Rabbit!" someone yelled outside. "Are you home?" Rabbit, thought Fox. If there were any rabbits in here, I'd eaten them for breakfast. When the fox opened the door, there stood a delicious-looking piglet. "Oh no!" screamed the piglet. "Oh yes," cried the fox. "You've come to the right place." He grabbed the piglet and hauled him inside. "This must be my lucky day," the fox shouted. "How often does dinner come knocking on the door?" The piglet kicked and squealed. "Let me go! Let me go!" "Sorry, pal," said the fox. "This isn't just any dinner. It's a pig roast. My favorite. Now, get into this roasting pan." It was useless to struggle. "All right," sighed the piglet, "I will. But there is just one thing." "What?" growled the fox. "Well, I am a pig. I'm filthy. Shouldn't you wash me first?" "Just a thought, Mr. Fox." The fox said to himself. "He is filthy. Look at how dirty that pig is." Once he got in his hand, he's got his roasting pot. So the fox got busy. He collected twigs. He collected twigs. He made a fire. He carried in the water. And finally, he gave the piglet a nice bath. "You're a terrific scrubber," said the piglet. So look how busy the fox is, and there's all these pictures on this page of all the hard work he's doing because he's so busy. And on this page, there's one picture. "There," said the fox. "Now you're the cleanest pig in the county. You stay still now." "All right," sighed the piglet. "I will, but what?" growled the fox. "Well, I am a very small piglet, Shouldn't you fatten me up just to get more meat?" "Just a thought, Mr. Fox." Said the fox to himself. "He is on the small side." So the fox got busy. He picked tomatoes, he made spaghetti, he baked cookies, and finally he gave the piglet a nice dinner. You're a terrific cook, said the piglet. Look, he's busy, so there's a lot of pictures on that page again. Getting everything ready to make the dinner for Piglet. There, said the fox. Now you're the fattest piglet in the county, so get into the oven. All right, sighed the piglet, I will, but... What? 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 Shouted the fox. Well, I am a hard-working pig, you know. My meat is awfully tough. Shouldn't you massage me first, just to make a more tender roast? Just a thought, Mr. Fox. The fox said to himself, I do prefer tender meat. So, the fox got busy. He pushed, and he pulled, he squeezed, and he pounded the piglet from head to toe. You give a terrific massage, said the piglet. There he is working hard again, so there's a lot of pictures on that page. Every time he has to work hard for the piglet, there's a lot of pictures to show that he's doing a lot of work. But the piglet continued, I've been working really hard lately. My back is awfully stiff. Could you push a bit harder, Mr. Fox? Little to the right, please. Yes, yes. Now just a little to the left. Look at the fox's face. Whew, a lot of sweat coming off. That's what those droplets are. They're sweat. There's the pig. Mr. Fox, are you there? There's the piglet. Looks like there might have been a fox there. I see some hands. I wonder what happened to the fox. But Mr. Fox was no longer listening. He had passed out, exhausted. He couldn't lift a finger, let alone a roasting pan. Poor Mr. Fox, sighed the piglet. He's had a busy day. Then the cleanest, fattest, softest piglet in the county picked up the rest of his cookies and headed for home. There's the piglet looking at the fox. All you see are his feet. What a bath, what a dinner, what a massage, cried the piglet. This must be my lucky day. And look, now it's nighttime. Means it's been a long day, a long time. When he got home, the piglet relaxed before a warm fire. Let's see, he wondered, looking at his address book. Who shall I visit next? So there he is. There's his address book, and if you look closely, he's already visited Fox, Coyote. He just visited Wolf. He's also got Bear in his address book. Whose door is he at? He went to visit Bear. We'll talk more about that later. But I want you to pause right now, and I want you to tell your adults something that happened in the beginning. One of the first things that happened. Did you? Good. Good, good, good. Now I want you to pause again and turn to your adult and tell them something that happened in the middle. And lots of things happened in the middle. It just has to be after the beginning, but before the end. Go ahead and pause. Good. Very good. Did you tell your adult something that happened in the middle? Now I want you to pause one more time and tell them something that happened at the end of the story. What's one of the very last things that happened? Go ahead and pause and tell your adult. Good job. Yes. Wow. Pretty smart with beginning, middle, and end. That's part of retelling the story. Good job. Pat yourself on the back. All right. Now, your assignment is to get your journal or a piece of paper, and you're going to draw a picture of something great that happened to you. And use detail. Use lots of detail, lots of color, and then you're going to try your best to write about what the great thing is that happened. Use letters, use words, use whatever you can to try to write what you're drawing about. Then, after you have tried, your adult can write down under what it is that you're trying to say. But you have to try to write first, because we're writers and we're learning how to write and we're learning how to be authors. So you're the author and the illustrator of your picture. You can draw your picture of something great that happened to you, and then you're going to be the author and write about it. Okay? So that's your assignment for reading. Have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you later. Bye, boys and girls.